Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So we are here at Matchless Gifts on the adjacent wall to the one we were reading at last time. And these are some beautiful original paintings. Jadurani here, and I was going to say Ilavati, but it's Indira. Indira, evidently, she was 16 years old when she was here, and I think painted that. And Jadurani was maybe around 19 when she painted that. Young ladies serving here at the temple, engaged directly by Srila Prabhupada for whatever the talents were that they had, and engaged them in devotional service. So wonderful. Okay, so we are continuing our reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam. Where are we?
Canto 4, chapter 26. It's verses 1 to 3, and we're in halfway through the purport.
Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Yeah. And before we start, I want to do the pitch, because we always do the pitch at the end. Bhadra Pranim is coming up, and if you'd like to sponsor a set of Srimad Bhagavatams, please contact us. We can do that here at Matchless Gifts. And we're happy to assist you in making sure that you get a set of Srimad Bhagavatams sponsored for Bhadra Purnima. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay. So we're reading in the middle of the purport, so the paragraph is starting in these 3 verses, if you're following along. In these 3 verses, King Puranjan's going to the forest to kill animals is symbolic of the living entities being driven by the mode of ignorance, and thus engaging in different activities for sense gratification. The material body itself indicates that the living entity is already influenced by the 3 modes of material nature, and that he is driven to enjoy material resources. When the body is influenced by the mode of ignorance, its infection becomes very acute. When it is influenced by the mode of passion, the infection is at the symptomatic stage. However, when the body is influenced by the mode of goodness, the materialistic infection becomes purified. The ritualistic ceremonies recommended in religious systems are certainly on the platform of goodness. But because within this material world, even the mode of goodness is sometimes polluted by the other qualities, namely passion and ignorance, a man in goodness is sometimes driven by the influence of ignorance. Okay.
Nothing to add?
No. No.
Okay. Yeah, main takeaway point for me is that although one may be predominated by a certain mode, but as the Gita explains, these modes are always fighting for supremacy. And Prabhupada explains that there are 3 modes, times 3, times 3, I think is how he puts it. And then maybe even more. But basically the idea is that you can get the mode of goodness, and you can get mode of goodness, passion, goodness, ignorance, mode of passion, goodness, mode of passion, mode of passion, ignorance. And then it can even go to like other extents. And Prabhupada explains that by the diversity of the modes of material nature, that's how you wind up with how many species of life? 8,400,000 species of life. It is herein described that King Puranjana once went to the forest to kill animals. This means that he, the living entity, came under the influence of the mode of ignorance. The forest in which King Puranjana engaged in hunting was named Panchaprashta. The word Pancha means 5, and this indicates the objects of the 5 senses. The body has 5 working senses, namely hands, legs, tongue, rectum, and genitals. By taking full advantage of these working senses, the body enjoys material life. The chariot is driven by 5 horses, which represent the 5 sense organs, namely eyes, ears, nose, skin, and tongue. And these sense organs are very easily attracted by the sense objects. Consequently, the horses are described as moving swiftly. On the chariot, King Puranjan kept 2 explosive weapons, which may be compared to ahankara, or false ego. This false ego is typified by 2 attitudes. I am this body, ahanta, and everything in my bodily relationship belongs to me, mamata. So I am this body, and everything in relationship to the body belongs to me. It's mine, 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 mine. I am this body, and whatever is in connection belongs to me. And nice explanation here of the different analogies given in the verse.
Next paragraph. The 2 wheels of the chariot may be compared to the 2 moving facilities, namely sinful life and religious life. The chariot is decorated with 3 flags, which represent the 3 modes of material nature. The 5 kinds of obstacles or uneven roads represent the 5 kinds of air passing within the body. These are prana, apana, udana, samana, and vyana. The body itself is covered by 7 coverings, namely skin, muscle, fat, blood, marrow, bone, and semen. The living entity is covered by 3 subtle material elements and 5 gross material elements. These are actually obstacles placed before the living entity on the path of liberation from material bondage. Japers.
Japers.
Yeah, it's quite depressing and also sobering, isn't it? It's like, especially like just now, Janmashtami just gone and Radhastami's coming, and so, you know, you're thinking of different, people speak about different pastimes, or you're reminded of the life you once had, and then you think, I don't remember it, by the way, but I was told the life I once had. And then I'm thinking, but now, as Prabhupada says, I'm in this prison, and it's not just it is the material body, and the material, it says the body itself is, it's got 7 coverings, so it's like, which is nasty as well. It's not just like a metal railing, when you're in prison and you've got metal railings. It's like muscle, fat, blood, all this gross stuff. It's quite sobering. What am I doing? But we allow ourselves to be encaged, and actually it's a real tricky path, as it says, these obstacles, because it's so, due to the ignorance, we actually think it's nice, so we actually continue it due to attachments, and when you die, and there's the desire, as Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, there's out of millions of people, how many people desire to get out of this gross prison, which in itself doesn't make sense, and you talk about, like Prabhupada says, who is crazy. You had the article, didn't he, in the Back to God magazine, because this is crazy. It'd be great if someone did a movie on this, on this, and the living entity and the choices you make, and that, and who is crazy. Actually, this would make a good drama, festival drama. Okay, there you go. But anyway, so it's quite sobering.
Okay, next paragraph. The word rashmi, rope, in this verse indicates the mind. The word nida is also significant, for nida indicates the nest where a bird takes rest. In this case, nida is the heart, where the living entity is situated. The living entity sits in one place only. The causes of his bondage are 2, namely lamentation and illusion. In material existence, the living entity simply hankers to get something he can never get. Therefore, he is in illusion. As a result of being in this illusory situation, the living entity is always lamenting. Thus, lamentation and illusion are described herein as dvikubara, the 2 posts of bondage. In one sense, just stepping back for a moment and looking at all the wonderful knowledge and information we're being handed here on a silver platter, translated painstakingly by Srila Prabhupada into English for us, and how often we don't really think about the fact that most people are either hankering after something, like the story of the donkey, the mule with the carrot on the stick, just trying to get it. Meanwhile, he's got the Dobi Walla packing him up to the hilt with all this laundry, just hankering after something, money, fame, the opposite sex, higher education, good job, good products, so many things people are hankering after. Or just a change of position, new hairstyle, or I want to be in the limelight, I want this, I want that. Hankering, and then perpetual lamenting and lamentation. And how often do we see that people are simply lamenting over the weather, lamenting over where they live, lamenting over things that break, lamenting. So we're hankering and lamenting, And we discussed this the other day. Prashanatma nashochati nakankshati. This is hankering and lamentation. So like that, this is the state of us as living beings, as devotees even. We're perpetually hankering and to some extent lamenting, but we have to go beyond that.
Okay, final paragraph. The living entity carries out various desires through 5 different processes which indicate the working of the 5 working senses. The golden ornaments and dress indicate that the living entity is influenced by the quality of Raja Guna or passion. One who has a good deal of money or riches is especially driven by the mode of passion. Being influenced by the mode of passion, one desires so many things for enjoyment in this material world. The 11 commanders represent the 10 senses and the mind. The mind is always making plans with the 10 commanders to enjoy the material world. The forest named Pancha Prashta, where the king went to hunt, is the forest of the 5 sense objects: form, taste, sound, smell, and touch. Thus, in these 3 verses, Narada Muni describes the position of the material body and the engagement of the living entity within it. Yeah, isn't it true? Like you said, the mind is always, Prabhupada says, making plans to enjoy the material world. It's so weird. It's like you can see, everyone's decaying, you're decaying. And it's weird. It's like at any second, your loved ones can die. It's not even as if you're like, that we know, okay, I got this long, It's like we could finish this recording and I could have a heart attack and die right here.
Dear Lord Sri Hare.
It's true though. Well, at least
Go back to Godhead.
At least I'm in Matchless Gifts. Yeah, it's true. But anyway. No, it's like...
Nice thoughts, we're having here.
Tomorrow is not guaranteed, but
it's not.
The point I'm making is still... like Prabhupada uses this example in his books often of the drop of water on the leaf. And it says... What does he say?
It's teetering on the edge and at any moment it can...
Yeah, but what's that? I forgot what he's...
Lotus?
No, what's the analogy? What's he comparing it to? Material happiness, isn't it? Life.
There are different analogies used for that, but I wasn't sure which one you meant. Why don't you just say what you were trying to say?
Well, that's what material life is. That it's like that little drop of water on the leaf, and any second that drop of water is going to fall.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yeah, I'm not sure that's the correct analogy, but...
That's what Prabhupada said, isn't it?
Yeah, of course he did. Yes, if you say he did, then I am sure that he must have somewhere in his books.
It'll come up somewhere now. Leave it in comment.
Yeah. If you think she's got it right, put it down below. If you think she's going wrong, put it down below.
Right.
All right. Yeah.
Anyway, it's just the craziness. I mean, just coming here in the morning, everyone's busy because it's the rush hour. and you're going to work, and you have your plans, and then, you know, people are thinking, yeah, when I get off work, some people are thinking, I'm going to the pub, or the bar, as they call it here, you know, some people think I'm going to go home and have my dinner. But you're not thinking that when I left my home and when I left my cozy bed, I'm not coming back to it, you know? And you're not thinking like that, or I'm not doing a return journey today.
Yeah, today's my last day on the planet. Imagine if you went out every day thinking like that.
Yeah.
What would you do? Well, I definitely wouldn't get on a train and go to work.
Right.
But what would I do?
Exactly. What would you do? So you just do what you're supposed to do.
Probably do what I'm doing.
Exactly. Because you don't do anything else.
Okay. So on that happy note, we're going to clock off. So again, remember, Bhagavad Pranim, and should be leading up to Radhastami soon, and probably about a week from when you see this reading. And yeah, wishing you all the best. And please, please, please read the Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.